Hey everybody, welcome to another quick episode of how to use a chair in a yoga practice. We can take most postures that you would find in a traditional practice on the floor and modify it to a chair with just some simple thinking about creating the same shape in the body as we do in a traditional practice. So I use just a plain old-fashioned metal folding chair as my chair for my yoga practice. When I opt to stay in a chair, it's ideally best to not have anything with arms because we want to have the freedom to move our body without being restricted to arms. If you're limited to a wheelchair, scoot your body to the very edge of your wheelchair, make sure your brakes are on, and then feet are flat on the floor. We move the pedals out of the side or the footrests and really plant your feet on the floor if you're able to do that. So just standing here or sitting here, I am in a classic variation to a chair of Tadasana or mountain pose. Not using the back of my chair to slouch. I'm sitting upright, shoulders down and away from the ears. And this is a great place to begin. Now I'm going to show you just a few ways to use a chair in some of those traditional postures that we see on the mat and modify them to a chair. I'm going to take Warrior Two as our start. So I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to lift it up and over. I'm thinking about the shape of my body in a pose. So Warrior Two, we typically have the open pelvis, the heart and the belly is towards the side. So this leg in a traditional practice would be straight and back behind us. Now we can keep it here and that's okay. Or if you're able to, you can straighten the leg. We'll do both sides and I'll show you both. Take your arms out like a letter T and then take your eyes to your right hand. So whatever leg is bent, the eyes are gonna go that direction. So here we are in a classic Warrior Two. Now let's move into side angle. Keep the leg as it is, drop your right elbow, sweep your left up and over. Here we are in side angle. We see this all the time, especially in a vinyasa. Let's find a reverse. Left goes up, right follows. You can take your left arm, wrap it around, and here you are in reverse warrior. Come back to Warrior Two, look at your right hand, take a breath, and lower your arms. Simple flow, you see it all the time in a standing class. Let's do the other side. Pick up your left, loop it over the edge, and now I'll show you how you can make that right leg look like Warrior Two. Arms are long. Look at your left hand. Remember, the side that's bent, that's where your eyes go. Drop your left, reach your right up and over. Here we are in side angle. Let's find reverse. Up and over we go. Beautiful. Come back to Warrior Two and lower your arms. There you just completed a very common vinyasa flow in a traditional practice. Let's find another popular pose, probably too popular. If you come to my classes, you'll never see a traditional, but pigeon pose. Pigeon is known to be a great pelvis and hip opener, but it's often very, very overused in a traditional class. I like to do it in a seated version better. Take your right foot, stick it on top of your left. You have this figure four. You have a window here that the hands could go through, but we're just gonna rest our hands on the bent shin, which is my right, and my toes are gonna flex back towards my toes. That protects the knee. Take a breath. You can stay right here, or you can lean forward. And here we are getting that beautiful sensation in the backside, but we're not putting so much pressure in a traditional pigeon pose that I find on the mat is so overdone and so overused, and in my opinion, so dangerous. Just my 2 cents. We'll talk about it in another video. Come back up. Let's slip into eagle pose. Take your right leg, cross it over your left, like you have a super tight skirt on. Take your arms out. You're going to wrap, either grab your shoulders or take that wrist wrap, palms touch. Here I am in eagle pose, okay? It's just like on the floor, but I'm not balancing. I'm not worried about that. Lean forward if you want a little stretch. Stay upright if you just want to find that tight compression of the elbows and the knees. Unwind it. And there is eagle pose. So you can see that there is a lot of different variations that we can find. We're looking for the same shape in the chair that we find on the floor. For example, let's find camel pose. I'm gonna turn. Camel is traditionally done on the ground where we're sitting on our knees, okay? We're gonna take the hands behind, grab the back of the chair, aim your heart up towards the sky, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your chin. Here I am in a variation of camel. Rise up safely, tucking your chin first, and coming back around. Simple. Finding a twist. Loop your right hand behind you, left hand on the right knee, spin your eyes around. Come back, other side, spin around. Okay, so that's just some pretty common shapes on the ground that we've changed to be in a chair. Now let's think about how to use the chair. If I'm able to get out of the chair, how can I use the chair to help support my practice? Just like we use blocks to bring the floor to us, we can use a chair to bring the floor even higher than blocks. So let's go into a variation of downward facing dog using a chair a couple different ways. So I'm gonna have the back of the chair facing me. I'm gonna put my hands on the back of the chair, step back far as I can, swing my hips back, look at my toes, straighten the arms. Okay, so my spine is in the shape of down dog. If you watched how to use a wall, remember we did something similar. And then rise back up. Now check this out. Let's do some upward facing. I'm gonna come up onto my toes and lift my chin and lower my hips, see? And then exhale, downward facing dog. Now when you do this, you wanna make sure that your chair is on a non-slip surface. I started to get a little scoot in that upward facing dog, so I came out of it pretty quick, but you get the idea. You create the shape, but you use a support, a wall or a chair. Here's another way to use a chair. Finding downward facing dog in a little different. I'm gonna place my hands on the seat, step my feet back, tailbone goes up, eyes go down between my legs. I've created the shape, okay? Just looking for the shape. Step forward. Now let's find pyramid pose. This is one that is really hard for a lot of people on the traditional side because we wobble, we have tightness in our hips and in our groin, but we can use a chair. I'm gonna flip a chair around. We can use two different levels, right? I have a lower level, which is the seat, and a higher level here. So I'm gonna aim my hips towards the chair, place my hands on the back of the chair, keep my spine straight, legs stay straight, and just hinge. Okay, so here's my pyramid. I'm getting a nice stretch for the right leg. You can also bring your hands to the seat, get a little lower. Remember, we're just bringing the floor to us. Rise up. Now check this out. I'm gonna work on my balance, my standing balance. I'm gonna step my right foot back and lift my left. One hand or both. Now let's play with half moon. Roll your hips. Okay, we used the wall in half moon and leaned back against the wall. You can use a chair. Simple variation of tree pose. Take the right foot to the left leg, hold on to the chair, left arm goes up. Just barely touching the chair, but you can see that it's providing me some stability. Using a chair is simply helping your body know where to go in the shape. It's not less than, it's not because you're not good at this, it's just using a tool. So if you've watched this little mini series, we used a strap, we used blocks, we used the wall, and now we're using a chair. All we're doing is providing a little bit of support for the body and teaching the body what kind of shape we want to create. Some people can't get down on the floor. Some people opt to not get down on the floor. And using a chair does not make your practice less than. I'm going to show you one more very common kind of sequence that we see a lot in a yoga class on the floor, which is cat and cow. Now, if you think about this, my shape of my spine and my legs is just as if I was on all fours. So my arms would be here on all fours, tip me over and I'm on all fours. Well, I'm gonna keep my arms down on my knees. Okay, that's the only thing I'm changing. I'm gonna pull my belly in and round my spine. This would be the cat, okay? Same shape. Here comes cow pose. Arms stay straight, belly shoots forward, eyes go up, heart lifts. Try that again. Round your spine. Lift your nose, lift your chin. Okay, you see that all the time. Come into a forward fold, spill over your legs, maybe touch your ankles, maybe touch your toes, and rise up. Now, let's do one round of a sun salutation, half sun. Maybe we'll do a full sun, but let's do a half sun for sure. Turn your palms away from you, down by your side, which is why using arms is nice to not have arms. Circle your arms up, look up, take a breath. On your exhale, swan dive over, spill over your legs, let your fingertips graze the floor, your feet, your knees, your ankles. Inhale to rise. When you get to the top, drop your shoulders, turn your palms. Let's do it one more time. Circle up, big breath. On your exhale, swan dive down, spill over your legs. Inhale to rise. Now let's change it by coming into that lunge pose that you see in a traditional sun salutation. We're just gonna add on, we'll just do one side. You'll get the picture, you'll get the idea. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale to rise, take your right foot, tuck it under your chair, left knee stays just as it is. Here's a lunge, okay? So I'm sitting with my right leg, knee down towards the floor, my foot's tucked under the chair, and my left foot is just where it was. Let's take an open twist, actually a closed twist. We're gonna twist to the left, okay? You see this a lot. Inhale back up. Exhale, bring the right foot through, lower your hands. So simple. Let's do the other side just so we're equal. Inhale up. Exhale, spill over your lap. Inhale to rise. Drop your shoulders, left foot tucks under the chair, arms go high. We're in a lunge, we're just hanging out in a lunge. Open to the right. So nice. Inhale back up. Bring your left foot back through, and lower everything. We can create the same sort of beautiful flowing practice with stability in a chair, and it's pretty amazing. So pop over to my chair yoga playlist. There's, I think, 42 different videos ranging in 12 minutes to 40 minutes, and then everywhere in between. And try a chair yoga practice, especially if you've never done it. Maybe you've had a belief like, I don't need a chair practice because I can get up and down. Give it a try. It's a totally different way to tune into your body. All right, I'll see you next time on Pop On, and we'll just keep playing with these quick little videos of how to use different things to get into our yoga practice. All right, see ya, bye.